Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's an interactive card and has this wheel here that turns to reveal 3 different pictures in there. Isn't that brilliant? I've used a die set that I think is very easy to overlook in the new catalogue. It is called Give It a Whirl. You can see it on page 163, and it's this die here. You can also see where it has been used on page 57, which is with the Stellar Birthday stamp set, so ideal for children, and that's how they've used it. I think this is going to be an absolutely fantastic set of dies for making this card. I can't imagine how many different ideas we're going to be able to come up with for Christmas, which is a time when most of us really like to pull the stops out for birthday cards, Christmas cards. So we are going to make this card again today, but I'm changing the sentiment because I'm just going to make it a happy birthday sentiment so that it's going to be a ladies card. The colours for that are going to be grey and pink. Okay, I'll start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing, and then I will explain to you how I found out, how I worked out how to do all this. One thing I'd like to point out to you here is on the side there, now I can't see whether you can see that or not, but there are 2 arrows. Yes, I think you can see those, and that has been done with the die. The one thing that I would say to watch out about that is if you have very scratched plates on your cutting machine, put a piece of paper over it first before you put this on it, because no, that's the other, yes it is, that's the way round, because my plates were so scratched, it's left scratch marks on the back there, which is a shame because I'm not planning to cover that up. I have changed my mat, so right, let's start off with the card pieces that you're going to be needing. Now, listen carefully to the card sizes because they are different. The piece that cuts out this largest piece is done with letter size paper in mind. In North America, they have 11 inches by 8.5, so that fits on beautifully. But on ours, if you do 5 by 5 3/4, it's a little bit off balanced. So I've corrected that. So this now measures 8.25 inches by 5 5/8 inches. It's only 1/8 of an inch shorter than what I normally do, but it does make a big difference. And obviously scored at 4 1/8. I will put the American measurements in the box below, and also these measurements in metric. Then you need a piece of Blushing Bride, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/16 of an inch. Then for the die cut, which I'm also going, that's for the inside, and for the front, you need a piece that's approximately 4 inches by 5.5 inches. Then you need a piece for the wheel, the bit that gets turned, and that's approximately 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. That's a scrap for the sentiment layer, and these are the 2 pieces that I don't know what size that is. I haven't decided what dies I'm using for it yet, that's a problem, so I will let you know. So you need those 2. The top piece measures 3.5 inches by 1 7/8 inches, and that piece is from the Bloom Where You're Planted Designer Series paper. And this piece measures 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. In fact, something wrong there, look at that. So that's those. Got another couple here. I wonder if I did this one right. I prepared these in advance just in case. No, I've done that wrong as well. What's that one? Ah, that one's wrong. Okay, let's move that one out of the way. I prepared these ahead of time. Okay, I'm going to show you how to cut these corners out to go around where the die cuts that bit out. Okay, so the top piece measures 3.5 inches by 1 7/8, and the bottom piece 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. You will also need some scraps of Whisper White for your images, which I've already done ahead of time, but I have done a second one so that I can show you how I do my colouring, and one piece for the sentiment. Again, I haven't measured that. So they're all the pieces that you're going to be needing. That's scrap as well. We'll come back to those. I should get rid of that one as well. I don't know quite what happened there. I think that's probably about it. Now, let me just show you how I came to all of this. First of all, I watched, I found 3 videos, all for American cards, on YouTube. I will put the first lady's name down in the box below. I can't think what it was. But this was the first real card that I made. And I like it, but it lacks a sentiment, plus the fact that it's too big. In here I've used the heart shapes. Okay. And I put 4 on that one, I think, did I? 2, no, just 3. Okay, so that was that one. Maybe it looks better with the sentiment exposed. Anyway, that one was, I embossed the top layer as well, which I decided I wasn't really that keen on it, which is why I've gone to the split designer series paper. This was the first one that I tried putting the white layer under it. As you can see, I've given up that idea. That made the card a bit too small. I wasn't happy with it, and the other thing was, at this stage I felt that I would have to stamp the image on the wheel, which was a bit of an effort. As you can see, I didn't do it very well, so that went into the trial department. I'm sure the ones in the catalogue are actually done, stamped onto the wheel. And then there was these 4 that I did. I was using the hearts, and the first one I did, I think this is one I put 4 hearts on. Yes, I did. Okay, so that works okay. Make sure hearts are adhered straight. That's right. There was one of these that's not adhered beautifully straight, and I think it was a dark pink one that was really off. Yes, you can see how badly aligned that is. Right, so that was the first one. The second one was I embossed the wheel. Now, I do that to all my cards now. So then I did my hearts and adhered those on top. See, it just gives it a little bit extra. Plus, you will see that when you die cut the wheels, it leaves the marks from the die, so that covers it up. Now this one, I embossed the wheel on that one. I don't think there's any difference. Oh yes, this one's got the 3 hearts in it. So you've got a bigger gap between each heart. And this one was where I embossed the front and the wheel. Yep. And I think that's gone back to 3 hearts. Pink, yellow, blue. Yes, 3 hearts. Okay. And this was the first one. These are the shapes that you can die cut. That was the circle down the bottom. You can decide where you want to put these. That one is the square, and that one's the half moon, if you like, and the heart. So that's all the bits that I did before I actually found something that I was happy with. So how are we going to start this? I think we'll start by doing the stamping. Now let me tell you what we're using. Let me show you the dies first. These are great. Okay, so you get all of these dies in the set. We'll be using this one because this is the one that you use to die cut your front piece. I'm using circles on my card, so I'm going to be using that one. These are the other ones that you have. Right, let's get this one out of the way. So what happens is, you die cut this piece first, and it will die cut a hole in your cardstock for you. So once you die cut it, then you choose whichever shape you want, and then all you need to do is line that hole up with the hole on your die cut piece. Okay, you'll see me do that, but you can decide where you want to put it. The only thing I recommend is that you don't put any of this right down on this bar if you want to use designer series paper like I have, because if you put it too far down there, it will collide with the bottom of your designer series paper, and it's not a pretty look. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'll use that one. Let's pop those on there. Then from this one, go back to this one. If you do a sheet like this with the 4 shapes, you'll find it really easy to be able to choose which stamp set you want to use. For example, if I wanted to use Badger's Besties, which I have used for the Father's Day and I'm going to be using again, you can see how restricted you are using that. Okay, you don't get much of his face there, but let's use this one as an example. That's this one here, into the heart. You see how much bigger you get on the circle. But it was great for my flowery ones. Did I show you? Yes, I did show you my flowery one, did I? Or did I just complain about it? Yes, I did, because I moved it all around, didn't I? Yes. So that was from Hydrangea Haven, that's it. I'm not quite sure what I would do with that. I suppose it'd be nice if you had a saying going all the way around, but I didn't try with that one. But these are the ones that I'm using. So let's put that there. So this is really a useful thing to do, and I keep that in with one page of my dies. The other page with my dies, as I usually do, I die cut them all and I put them on the back. Okay, so this is what your front page die cut's like, and you'll see you've got a line that goes across there, which is mainly why I decided to do 2 pieces of DSP. The only problem was I had to work this out, which I've done, and it works brilliantly. Now the reason I do the embossing here, if you have a look closely here, you can see the sign of Ban the Bomb, and that shows. But if you emboss it, then it disappears. I use a shim on my machine so that it gives it extra bit of pressure. But you've also got stitched clouds, you've got stitched stars, you've got arrows which you can use instead of the die that I used. That heart, those 2 hearts. The circle is what's come out of there, which we will be using. No, we'll use the other circle, won't we? We'll use the circle that we die cut out of there. That's for a sentiment. I think that's probably... Oh, this piece here, I was a bit disappointed with, because I thought that that would go round here nicely, but the circle bit is a bit too big. Okay. So I was a bit disappointed with that one, but that one will be classed as just a layer for circles that I use. Obviously it's going to fit onto that because that's it. So what I would do is do 2 of these, one in one colour and another in another colour, so that I can interchange them. That's on the silly date. Right, okay, so that was that one. So on here I'm using this. Which arrows? I used 2 arrows there, didn't I? Let's try 1 arrow. One of the things I like about this is that this is more or less the same shape as that cutout. So you should be able to do that, and it should come down there. I'm not totally confident, and by the time I'd got this far on my card, I pulled it forward. So can you see where the impression of that is? I hope you can. Right, okay, so I'll be using that one as well. I did mean to bring over with me the stamp set, the Stella Birthday. I did buy it, but I didn't use it. But never mind. You can see that one time when I do use it. So we're going to do our stamping first, aren't we? Let's leave the dies there. No doubt I've forgotten something. The die, the sentiment rather, that I used for this one is from Handsomely Suited, that one. For the ladies card, I'm going to use this one, much smaller. I liked it big like that, but it was the best one that I could find, I think. So that's from Handsomely Suited. And you've seen the Besties, which is for my badges. So they're all my bits and pieces. The only other one to tell you about is the embossing folding I'm using is Tasteful Textile. Now I have to say I'm really surprised that this wheel turns when you've got an extra bit of paper on there, because I would have thought that edge of the circle there would have caught on the edge of the circle as it goes round, but it doesn't seem to. It seems to go round really smoothly. Okay, right. Now I'm not going to show you how I've stamped these. This was the first one I did for this morning, but it didn't stamp very well. The ink was too thick there, so I thought, well, that's not a bad idea. I'll keep these as a sample, redid them, and those ones are all ready, so that I can show you how I coloured them. But I do want the sentiment. So I have set up my Stamparatus. No, yeah, Stamparatus. I'll put a stamp set underneath there to give it a bit of support. So I'll bring it down so you can see it. There we go. And for the sentiment I'm going to be using grey granite, because, sorry, I didn't tell you the colours of these, did I? That's grey granite and that's Blushing Bride. So I'm going to stamp with that. I'm sure I brought, oh yes, there we go. That was a piece I sorted out. I'll keep that one down here. The layers, the dies that I'm going to be cutting this with will either be the layering ovals, which have retired now, I'm afraid. The other one that it might be will be the stitched shapes, yes, the oval on there. I'm just doing this a few times to get it nice and dark. So I think that's the only stamping that I need to do for that with that one. Just double check. Oh, and this one here, I did the little beaver inside. So let's do that one as well. I knew there was a good reason for coming over with the beavers. So let's move that one out of the way. I just want this one here. Which one did I use? I think it was this one, wasn't it? Yep. Okay, so take that one off. And I got another mat here, a plate rather, not a mat. If I pop that into place, then I can pop him where I want him to go. I like to get his arms in. I think he's rather cute with his arms crossed like that. and I'm going to use black memento for this. Try picking the stamp up. Life's much easier like that. Right. I'm having trouble with my ink pad because I re-inked it, and as always I over-inked it. Do it gently, do it a bit harder. Okay, just a little bit more. Yes, that's good. Right, don't chance your luck anymore. So that's that one. Okay, so that's finished with. Oops. Right. Imagine these are the ones I'm going to be using. I'm do the die cutting all in one bit, won't I? Yes, okay. Right, when I use this one, I opened his eyes. As you know, I do not like these critters with closed eyes. So I use one of my Staedtler pens, which is not a Stampin' Up product. These aren't any good for colouring, but they're very good for doing very, very fine lines because it's only 0.3 millimetres. This was a product I bought long before I joined Stampin' Up. So all I do is very carefully make that a circle, not a very good one there, and then it's not my best, but I think he looks a lot better like that. Okay, so that's how I do that one. So colouring, oh no, don't you fall down, hold on. Right, that should be okay now. The colouring is done with dark smoky slate. I keep forgetting to find out where these labels come from, don't I? I will do it. Obviously now I know how far I've got to go with this. The reason I use dark smoky slate, even though these are really black, is because black is too harsh. But what I do is I just go over and over whatever area I'm doing, and I'm only going to do the face here. I'm going to stop there. I just keep going over and over and over until you can't see the lines anymore. Eventually the colour becomes so solid, there's no light and dark there. I'm no colourer at all. I get by. There are a lot of people who could colour this beautifully and use shading and everything. That's not one of my talents, I'm afraid. So I'm happy. Okay, so this is, you can't see the lines now. Once the ink disappears, it's all the same solid colour. Okay. Let me show you the three that I've already done, because I'm going to show you how I cut these out as well. Okay, I've done a pink flower this time. That was dark, flirty flamingo, and the grass is light granny apple green. Okay, when they go really solid, if you have a look at this, it's almost like it brings through white fibres. Now I don't know how much you can see of that, but it's not noticeable when you at first, but as it dries, and it looks really quite nice. So next I'm going to bring my Big Shot over so we can start doing the die cutting. As I say, I've treated myself to two new cutting plates so that I don't spoil the underneath of my... It's not that long ago when I had new plates, but I have done a huge amount of die cutting since then. So we need one in here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to die cut our front and front panel, that's it. Okay, now this piece I've said, now this is only an estimate, as you can see. You could cut it down if you wanted, but the top layer front is approximately 4 inches by 5.5 inches. It's just as a guide for you. I should have said, when you do straight cuts like this, it is better if you put it in your cutting machine at an angle and you don't get those loud thumps that I've just had. Okay, so take that out and you can see the line, the impression that you get there. So that's that one. Then we're going to do the wheel. I've already told you the size of this one. I think it was 3 3/3 by 3 3/4. So we're going to die cut that one. Let's move that one out of the way. Okay. And this is the one where you see Ban the Bomb. So that's going to be embossed. We need to die cut this. Now what I've done with the dies here, because I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with it, I know I'm using ovals, but you use any shapes that you have. Now the first 2 sets are the layering ovals, and it depends on how much gap I want. Now that looks a nice size, doesn't it? I think the other one is a bit too small. Yeah, it's too much of a squeeze. So I'm going to do those 2. I will put the sizes of the dies that I've used in case you've still got yours. I'll put the sizes in the box below the video. Oh no, don't go away, we need you. Oh, I've got you. This one I need to have the grey. So let's, in fact you can come down close towards me. Okay, you want to play silly what's its. And grey granite. And we'll pop that through. I'll save that. That can go over there. There we go, so that will be like that. Like that. And now for this one, we still need to do this, don't we? First of all, now to die cut this, as I say, you've got to line that hole there up with the hole in your die cut piece. Oh come on, what are you playing about like that for? Now this one I want my circle to be down. Okay, that looks straight. So I'm now going to run that through. Now that circle we need, we're going to be using that, alright? I'll keep that one safe. And there we go. That wasn't right, was it? I should have put the paper on there first. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to redo that. That was wrong. I am thinking about this so carefully, so slowly as I'm going through to make sure that I don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Okay, let's pop that back and bring my trimmer over. And this piece needs to be, I'm doing the top layer. Oh, that's right, approximately 4 by 5.5. Right, okay, I'm going to just die cut this first, and then I'll put my big shot away. Where's my big die gone? I did put them all over here, didn't I? Let's have a look. Ah yes, here we go. Just run that through. The thing is, I need to put the big shot back after this one because I need to show you how to cut your corners. I've actually done it so that I've got templates for myself now, so that each time I use this, it's going to be much, much easier. And it is quite easy, you just need a couple of circle punches. If you don't have the circle punches, you probably be able to use some of the dies, because the layering circle dies haven't retired. So what you need to do, this bit here, with your 2 pieces of cardstock, that's right, I'm going to have to use these 2 pieces, aren't I? So I'll show you this piece. Alright, goes on like that. So what I did was I took a pencil and I know what I'll do. I know what I will do if I haven't got rid of that piece altogether. There we go. Right, let's pretend this is the right size. Okay. So, I wonder how much you can see from there. Shall I bring you down a bit? Right, okay. Now you can see where, first of all what I did was I lined it up so that the gap round there and up there was the same. And then I took a pencil and I did a mark a bit further in from where the stitches come, which would be there and there. And then for this one I used a 1-inch punch. Now I did this with pieces of white cardstock to start off with. So then I put this in and I made sure that the circle at the top here came up to these 2 pieces here. Can you see that? Did you see the pencil marks? There you go. So that would be close enough for there. Okay, so that's what this one is. Nice small half circle. So now what I would do, this is a piece that's wrong, assume this was my right piece, I would put this on there and I would hold it like that. When it's all lined up nicely, I would put this through and then I would line that up with the white underneath there. See the white there? Just do it so that I don't actually cut any of that white off. Okay, a little bit short on that far end, but I wouldn't worry about that if that was a real piece. Okay, so then I would adhere this piece on, so let me do that. Whatever glue you like to use, you go for it. And just lining it up so that all my gaps, they look the same. And hopefully straight. Okay, so there's that one. Then we need to do this one. And without your template, or if this is your template that you're making, like this one, you line this up so that it fits the same gaps all round as you've got on this one. I've got a bit wider there than I have that one. Never mind, I'm going to do them both the same, so that'll be alright. So what I'm going to do is, without the template, where these stitch marks are, one there and one there, and on this one I use a 1.5 inch punch. I haven't worked out logically how that works because it's the same curve, unless that's not a circle, of course, could be an oval, that would account for it. Now where's my pencil marks? Let me show you where the pencil marks are on here, if I can see them. There's one there. Oh, it's there. Okay, so there's one there and one there. That's a bit more obvious. And then put it in there. Oh, there it is. Okay, so then you've got that one. It's probably not perfect, but it looks really good. Okay, but I do recommend, as I say, do yourself templates like this. These will be filed in with the other piece of this one as well. So I'll keep it all together so that I know when I'd want to do this card again, the pieces are there. So, which one did I just do? I think I just did that one, didn't I? Very close, look at that. In fact, almost identical. Right. So then line this one up in its position, hopefully with the same gaps as everywhere else. Okay. Now this is where I say, seeing how you're nice and close to me at the moment, this is, if you did the half moon straight shape there and your stitched line comes down, you come into a problem with the edge of your designer series paper. So now I'm going to go back in and I am going to put that on. So let me take you back out again. I think I was about there, was I? Right, let's close these up again. I think all the round punches have been retired, but hopefully out of all the things that you may think about getting rid of, never get rid of your shapes with the dies or punches. That is one thing I can guarantee you I never get rid of. Right, so pop that so that that lines up. That piece that I messed up, I'll put another piece of design series paper on it and then cut the hole again. If I'm successful, then I can make another card. If I'm not successful, then I'm afraid it'll go in the bin. Okay, so now that's cut through beautifully. Now this is what I'm going to be reusing. I think I have finished with my big shot now, so I'm going to move this out of the way again, hopefully for the last time. Now you need something else that punches holes. And what did I do? Another retired product. Again, it's a shape, so I don't ever get rid of this. And this is a 1/8 inch hole punch. If you've got a crocodile, that's got a 1/8 inch punch as well. And to make sure that I'm getting this in the right place, I wonder if I've got my little ruler handy. Yes, I have. So what I do is I line this up in a square. So that top there is touching a line. That bottom is touching a line. That side is touching a line. And so is that side. So if I draw a line through that one and across the other way, I know I have found the centre. Okay, so this isn't going to be seen, so it doesn't matter about the pencil cross. I can't really see here without getting my head over. Never mind. Let's hope that's about right. Okay. So let's see. I put it there and punch the hole. Okay. So what do we do next? Oh no, I did forget something, didn't I? Where's my wheel? Because I need to emboss that. So this is the plate from my cut and emboss. That's number 1, and that's number 4, and that's my shim. I know it's better to put a bit of a shim with this to get rid of the ban the bomb signs. Okay. So which is the front? That's the front and that's the front. So put the two fronts together. Put the fold in your machine first. Put that on top, put that on top of that, and then crank it through. Alright. Let's put that over there. Let's get rid of these plates. Although this is quite a lot of work to do for your first card, after you've done your templates, it's much quicker, much easier. Right, so I've got those, I've got those, and I've got these. So let's just glue those two together. That's the right way. I thought it was upside down there for a minute. Right, you can be drying off. The brads I'm using are also in the new catalogue, and these are called, you can see the lid right over there, these are called round and square brads. How about that? They've got round in the square and the round ones, which, okay, so that's black. I'm probably running quite low on these. Now that I've shown you, I'll retrieve all those out of the test ones I've done. Oh, there's a white one, and I've got them in black as well. Okay, and there's loads in there. So I'm going to be using the small white one, and what I'm going to do is, to start off with, I'm going to line the two holes together, and I'm going to put that through. Yes, I would open it up, I think, to start off with. This is just so that I can put the first little critter in there and decide which position I want him in. You don't have to do it straight up, whatever. So let's put him in. And now when you're putting glue on this, I do recommend that you get glue all over, not solid, but just so that there is some glue in the centre bits, because you are going on to an embossed cardstock. And also try and get as close to the edge as you can. Okay, that's all I mean for doing it all over. We'll have him looking up as if he's trying to read the sentiment. Okay, so just make sure that that is nice in the hole there. Now, remove that. Now for the other two, if you put him up at the top, and then these two, just spread them out equally. Don't forget, if you do your circle up the top here, you will need these to be facing inwards. So when you turn your wheel, they're the right way. That is one of the good points about making sure you've got that in place when you do it, because it would be obvious to you if you were putting it in upside down. Okay, so make him face north, and then that one, see how much gap you've got there, see how much gap you've got there, and try and make those three equal. It's not critical. So what I do now, I bring this one back, I pop that on top, make sure you've got something white underneath so it's easy to see. Come on. Ah, there you are. In fact, let's make one of these almost in the position he's going to be going in. Right, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to hold that in place with my hand. If you don't like working like this, put one of your staplers on top of it to hold it in place. Okay, I'm quite happy to do it like this. And again, make sure you go as close to the edges as you can, not too close so that your glue oozes out. and a bit across the centre. When you do this, you will feel that that needs to be lifted through the hole. Can you hear that? Now that those two are done, set them either side, that in the centre, and then you know where this one's got to go. Making sure you've got the same gap here. Cool, landed first time there, look at that. Have a little bit of a coy look there from him, her. Okay, so there you go. Now this one, you need some dimensionals. Now I'm not sure why this works. I can't remember what the lady said, but I know it does work. I will put the lady's name in the box below, as I say. Right, okay. So it doesn't matter which side you do, it's not going to be seen. I'm going to do it on the cardboard side. That's more, the cardstock rather, that's more sturdy. And take those two off. Now have that prepared. Now with your brad, put this wheel immediately behind the front sheet. Put your brad through it. Hold your brad there. And then this one, also put it on your brad. Make sure that's straight over the hole there. Press that down. And oops, close that. Okay, so that's this going around. Now for the arrows, I tend to do it once. No, you don't. You can't do. You've got to do it while it's like this. Okay, position this where you want it to go. And then if you do a little line there and a little line there, you know where this is going to be on your card front, and then just a small line so that that is the outside edge of your wheel. Okay, so you've got two lines here, so that shows the start and the end of that thumb notch, and then there's a little line there where you're going to do, which is the edge of this, so you're not going to put your arrow over it. So again, I'm going to bring the big shot in. Now which die did I, oh, I decided on the one, didn't I? On this one it's got two arrows, and the one I'm going to do is one arrow, one big one, only because I want to see what both of them look like. So let's take those two out. These are the ones I need. And bring this up. Oh, come on. Now if I say that I've just lost the die, it's sitting in my lap. I just knocked it down there. Here we go. Right, so I'm going to open up my card. Now I'm only going to run this through a bit of my machine. If you've got lots of cuts on there, on this bit, put a piece of piece of paper underneath so those scratches don't come on the back of your card. Now this, these dies are playing, dies are playing me up a bit today. Okay, so top and bottom is where these pencil lines are. And look, you can't mess me about too much. Oh, be careful, because that's going the other way around. Oh, of course, you're putting it upside down, aren't you? Okay, so put that on the edge there. I might have to get myself a post-it note for this. Ooh, maybe not. I'm scared to let it go now. Okay, right, I'm only going to go over to let it bump. There we go, and then, oh, I'm not sure that was on far enough. We'll soon find out. Oh, there we go. You can also see what I mean about, you get the impression of that curve. There we go. Now that really is the end of the big shot for today. Now this I'm going to pop up on dimensionals rather, not A, and I need to erase that pencil, those pencil marks. We were having, hubby and I were having a discussion yesterday, maybe somebody can answer this for us. If you're left-handed and you get one of these cards, do you push it down or do you push it up? I said it might be an idea to put it on the other side for a left-handed person, because I imagine if you're left-handed you probably feel that you get missed out on lots of things. So it'd be interesting if you're left-handed. Let me know what you think. Would you prefer to have the notch on the other side? Doesn't it make any difference to you? Maybe it's just one of those things you've had to get used to. Right, they're the big dimensionals, and for the little ones just make sure you stay well away from your wheel when you're doing this. Do two little ones up here as well. Now because there's lots of dimensionals here, I think that'll be alright. Yep. What I do is I put Tombow on them, so that gives me a bit of time to manoeuvre this layer. Should have had one of these done ready ahead of time. Never mind. It's our hobby, so we can take our time. I think that's everybody. Pop those in there. Now, if you're going to do this, you need to put a decent amount of Tombow on there, and if you leave any of the dimensional showing, even on just one of them, it's going to stop this working efficiently. Once the Tombow has dried, then the glue on the dimensionals will also kick in. So it's like double secured if you like, but the reason I do it is because it gives me extra time to manoeuvre this into place. I suppose really, considering the amount of card making I do and how I use my Tombow, it's not surprising I get through so much of it. Oops, that was a bit rather a large blob. There we go. So all I've got to do is pop this in the centre of my card. See how easy that's sliding around. There we go, I think that's right. And I think that's straight. So be careful because that's going to be very easily moved. Right, this is for the inside of the card. And sentiment. We put dimensionals on this one as well. I'll have two big ones either end. I've forgotten to colour the badger that's inside the card, but never mind, I'll do that after the video. Don't really need to see me colour that, do you? If you want to see the finished card, things like if I decide to add any embellishments, which I normally don't worry about during my videos, it's only when I think about it afterwards that I might add something, but they will be on my blog tomorrow, which is Sunday the 16th of April, I believe, May even, 16th of May. There we go. Right, let's leave that one like that. Okay, so what do you think about today's project? Are you tempted to get the dies called Give It a Whirl? There we go, let's get you back as well. Are you in a different position? Yes, you're more upright, aren't you? Okay, see, whatever goes, whatever you want to do. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you like this project and I really hope you consider getting these dies. They are a lot of fun. Have I got some glue showing somewhere? Yes, I have. I need to take that off. In the box below, as I say, I will put all the measurements for A4 users in inches, A4 users in centimetres, and letter size in inches. I'll also put a list of the products that I've used, and there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you purchase anything from me, first of all, many thanks, I appreciate it. And also, if you can remember to put the HOSTESS code on your order, then when I send you your happy mail at the beginning of June, I'll be able to include some free product with you as well. If you haven't got a copy of the new catalogue yet, and you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator that you work with, email me at JanB@JanBcards and I'll be happy to pop one in the post for you. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe now button down there in the right hand corner and then click on the bell. That makes sure that you get the notification. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time, and in the meantime, please take care, stay safe, happy crafting, cheerio.